Hello friends, welcome back to lecture number 3 related to Java programming, and in this lecture we are going to discuss arrays versus array of objects. The last program that we have written in our lecture number 2, and this was our main. I'm taking the same example as I have taken from start of my program. I have created the product class. So I'm making the changes in same class. Okay, so this was the main of our project, and here we have created a array of object. Okay, there is a difference between arrays and array of object. Arrays basically store or values, while array of object basically store references to the object. Or this is the difference between arrays and array of objects. So in last class we have created this array of object in which left hand side is the reference variable. We have just declared this reference variable p, and we have used this square bracket, and this square bracket represents that this product class contains not just single instance variable, but it contains multiple products in its list. Okay, so this is the product, and right hand side we have seen that we have created a product for 3 different objects, and our 3 different objects are product 0, that our first product is stored at index 0, second product is stored at index 1, and third product is stored at index 2. So left hand side is the reference, and right hand side is the object creation for 3 different products. And basically here we are assigning the addresses to our reference variable p. First product address is stored in p0, second product address is stored in p1, and third product reference is stored in product p2. Okay, so in this way array of objects work. And one more thing that we can clarify this concept from this simple example. Okay, so this is the image where we can see that every time when we are going to create the array of object, it will take 2 parts of our memory. First one is the stack, and second one is the heap. In stack there is the list of reference variable or our objects, whatever we are going to give a name to our object, like customer C or product P. So these are the reference variable, but in this case we have used product. We are using multiple products, so it is creating a array for these objects. So in our case we have created 3 different products. So in left hand side memory will store the reference variable, and in right hand side, which is the heap, our 3 different objects are created: new product object 1, new product object 2, and new product object 3. And one more thing you need to know is that product 0 basically contains reference for product object 1. Similarly, product p1 contain reference for product object 2, and p2 contain the reference for product object 3. Okay, so these addresses are stored in 3 different reference variable. That is the way how array of objects is created in Java. So these are 2 different parts. Left hand side is the reference variable that is always created in the stack, and objects normally created with the help of new keyword on the heap part of the memory. And these objects references are basically stored. These objects references are basically stored to these reference variable that we are using in our stack, or in other words, these variables, stack variable basically points to these heap memory location, because they are containing or they are taking their addresses. In order to more clarify this concept, we are just taking an example. Here we are going to I'm going to print value of reference variable, that is p, and I'm just printing the value of P0. So this is the initial reference variable. So initially what happened due to these two lines, first line indicates that the product, this is an array, this is an array of object for basically three different objects. So whenever we are going to print the value of P0, so what will happen here? P0 means initially we have the value of P0, and P0 contain the object address or object 1 addresses, and P1 contain the object 2 address, and P2 contain the object 3 address. But initially when we are going to print this system.out.println and P0, it will basically print null value. Reason is that, as I already tell you, that P0 contain address for object number 1, and here we have just declared three different products, but we don't have initialized these objects. So until we are not going to initialize these objects, these values are not going to be print. So let's see what will happen here. Initially, when I am going to print of reference variable P0 value, so initially it does not contain address for any heap memory. Okay, so in this case it is going to print the null value. So in order to get the address of first location or first heap object address, we need to first initialize product 0. So how you are going to initialize it? We are just giving the reference P0 and P0 contain the address of what? P0 contains the address of product that is going to be created on heap. So initially product 0, what will happen? Initially default constructor is called here. So don't intermix these lines. This is just informing your Eclipse ID that in Java user is going to create the array of object. But in this line, you are properly assigning your addresses from your heap to your reference variable P0. Okay, so now whenever you're now in this case, what will happen? In this case, new product, it contains a default constructor because there is no parameter here. So our default constructor is called first. So it is the product class, and already we have set their default constructor, which will print first when our object is created in the main. This default constructor is called first, and we also list down the parameterized constructor. Okay, so in this case, first initially what will happen due to these three lines, our initially array of object is created, then we assign product 0 to the first value of the first address value of your heap memory, and then we have printed that address, that is P0. Okay, so now let's move and check it. So you can see here due to these three lines, what will happen? First default constructor is called because you have written this line P0 equals to new product. So due to this, first this default constructor is called, it has the same name as the class, and as the object of product is created, then later at this product of our object 1, the result is stored in P0. Okay, so and then we are going to print these value of address, that is P0. So what is the P0 value? P0 contain address of first object in your heap. Okay, so what is the first object that is on your heap? So this was the first object P0. This address is now stored in P0. So we are taking the value of the address here, my first program, and dot product. You can see that this is the hexadecimal value, or this value is basically address of object 1 that is stored in P0. Similarly, we can create P of 1 here, and we can use it new and then we can use the product here. Okay, so in this way you can print all three values. Here I am just copying it and just I am printing these values here. Control V, and then I am just printing it here. So I am using all three reference variable P0, P1, P2, and these reference variable are storing object addresses. That P0 contain first object address, P1 contain second object address, and P2 contain third object address. So as I am going to print it, you can see that for every time constructor is called for creating the product 0 object, and then constructor is called for creating P1 object, and then default constructor is called for creating P2 object, and then it will print their addresses. So you can see here, first default constructor to create the object, 3 times the object default constructor is called, and you can see that these are 3 different addresses that these reference variables are storing at P0, P1 and P2. So this is the way how array of objects are going to be worked. Now I am just removing this code, and now I am moving toward second example, that is basically difference between your array of objects and arrays. In order to implement the arrays, as already we have seen that array of object basically used to store the references, or used to store the references of the object, but simple arrays are used to store just values, not the object references. So in this way I'm just creating a new example here in my first program explorer, where we have already source package in which we have our product class, but at this time I am creating a new class, and I am giving it a name, for example product price. This is a class. I am just adding main and just giving a name to my class, and just I am finishing this example. Here I want to give you an example of simple arrays, so you can differentiate between simple array and array of objects. So in this class I am just creating a private visibility for my variable, that is price. So at this time I am creating simple array, so I am setting my attribute to some array type. So simple array, for simple array you are using just square bracket with your data type here, and this is the this is basically visibility of this data member, that is price. So price is attribute field, or this is the instance variable that is of type array, means price now contains multiple integer type values. Okay, so this is simple array. Now I am using 2 different member function, public void set data, in order to set values in my array. Similarly, I am using another function in order to display the values for my array. Void, just I am using the display method, and just I am making it empty initially. And second thing, I am using the constructor here. So what is the constructor here? I am using class name product price. So this is the product price constructor here. In this constructor you can see that product price, in this constructor we are going to initialize the array element. For this, what we need to do is just we are giving the references, we have the price, and this constructor will basically create the object, and in this time whatever constructor is called, it will create an object for multiple prices. So so for this we are just declaring that in new, and it will create 3 different type of and it will create space for three different prices. Okay, so this is the price variable here. This is normally array type. Array type data member or data field or instance variable that contain basically three simple type of array. In this case we don't created any object here. If we are going to create the object, then you can see we don't use this syntax new integer. We have just give the reference to the data type that this price variable now contain three different integer type values, because our array contain three values. If you want to contain 100 values, you can give a value, index value, that is 100. So initially for three values I am creating this simple array, and you can make the difference when you are going to create array type of object. Then in my product class you can see that this is the syntax for creating array type object. Here we give the reference to our class name, that is product. Here we are going to use with the help of new keyword that this is for primitive type array. Okay, so this contain integer values. Our price variable contain three different type of integer values. You can use it here for the string, you can use it for the float, xyz. Okay, all the data types you can use for creating simple arrays to store values for your different and data members, attributes, or for your instance variables. Okay, so this is the way whenever this constructor is called, it will automatically create this constructor will create basically create three different spaces for your instance variable or for your attribute. So this is simple array. Now inside data I am going to assign some values in my array. So for this I am just using the price of 0 basically contain this value, and then price of 1 contains this value, and then price of index 2 it store value, this value. Okay, so these are the values that I have set in my array, that is price, and that is of data type integer, that store integer type values. So I have given assign integer values. So in display data I am going to display these all values. So I am going to use the loop for int I equals to 0, I is less than 2, price, our instance variable is price dot length, whatever the length of the array, it will take that condition and automatically increment and basically display these values. So price dot length will make the increment. We have taken three values here, and so in this loop we are going to display system.out.println. What we are going to display, we are displaying the price. So I'm using the square bracket and I'm just giving the reference to this loop initializer that will automatically check the condition and make the increment, and then it will work until and unless the price of price array length and price array length of 3. So it will work toward three different values, and it will basically print these values from three different indexes. So this is the way how your values are going to be printed. So I'm moving toward I have set my data, I have just declare array, I have just initialized it in my constructor, this price array, and then I have set data function for assigning the values for array element, and then I have use display data member function in order to print basically these values. So this is the main program here. What we are going to create here, I am creating a new object that is product p equals to new product and basically it is not taking a parameter, so I'm just using the just calling my member function of the class, that is basically set data and display data. So p dot I'm just using the p dot set data. It is giving me an error. The reason is that I already used the product reference variable p in my product class, and both of them are in the same package, so give it some other name. I'm giving it name p1. Now it works. P1 dot set data, that is our first p1 dot that member function that we have used is set data. Okay, I'm just saving it, Control S, and p1 dot set data product. The name of our class is product price. I'm making this mistake here. Product price, again it is product price. So now you can see that p1 dot set data, it will appear here in the list. Now you can call that function p1 dot display data. You can call this member function that is already defined in your product price class, that basically contain a simple array in the list. Okay, now I'm just storing this again. I am just saving that program, and I am again executing it. So you can see that these are different values for your these are the different values for your instance variable, that is price. Now this is the price array that contains 3 different values, or that is stored 3 different values here, and in this case it is not storing the references for the objects. So this is the way how simple array is declare and initialize in your class, and this is the way how your array of object is declared and initialized in your